All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here today for our Lunch and Learn. We're joined by Jimmy Lee of Kukui. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Maddie. I appreciate it. We are recording now, right?
Yes.
Yes, we are. I see the record button. Hey, so today we're going to talk about two bay fillers. We've got some interesting times. Everybody in 2020 stayed home. They took care of things. They brought their car in. Everybody had a good 2020. Let's get off on the right foot in 2021 to make sure that we're communicating with our customers the most effectively to be able to give them the information that they need to be able to come in and bring their cars in. There are 124 million people in America right now that drive less than 30 miles a week. That's not a lot of miles. So we've got to stay top of mind with these clients, with these customers. Instead of judging things by miles, you may need to judge things by time period between services. So the mileage doesn't become as much the factor. It's the time that needs to be the factor. And we've all got different clients. You've got different clients that communicate in different ways. They like to communicate via text. They like email. They like postage, like postcards or letters. Or there are the clients that like phone calls. You've got to be able to communicate with your customer base in the method that they prefer. So a lot of you might say, oh, well, I prefer a phone call. And as a shop owner, that may be true. You may prefer that phone call, but does your customer base? So we have to think of it not from what we prefer, not from our mindset, not from our pocketbook. We now need to think of it from the client, from their pocketbook, from their mindset. So I'm going to talk about this mindset. That's really what we're going to talk about here today. There's a long play in this mindset, and there's a short play in this mindset. So number one, let's talk about the short play. Any sports team, you always have a short play that gets you immediate gains, and then you've got a long play that really ties that game into for the long play. So let's talk about that. So many of you know, I'm Jimmy Lee. I am Kukui. I travel all over the North America talking about Kukui, talking about the program, talking about what we can do as shop owners to engage with our clients, with our customers. There is two aspects of any marketing you're doing. One is to acquire new customers, and the other is to retain those current customers that you already have. It costs a heck of a lot more to acquire new customers than it does to retain. And to use a very broad brush as a very broad standard number, it's 10 times as much. So to use numbers, if it costs $50 to $100 to acquire a new customer, then to retain a customer should be in the $5 to $10. Wouldn't it be a lot better to spend that 5 to 10 and have that customer coming back over and over and over again? Yes, I agree. I think that is a phenomenal way of doing that. One of these methods that our clients prefer, and all of them, they all prefer texting. So how can we use texting as a method of communicating with our customers? How can we use texting to engage? How can we use texting to stay top of mind? How can we use texting to not be a spammer? Because you don't want to do that. You'll get in some big trouble if you do that. How can we use texting to communicate effectively with our customers and market our shop? So to do this, you've got to be very careful. So I'm going to review a few of the things. We've talked about this before. Last May, we talked about how it is that our customers prefer texting, because they do. 90% of all text messages are read within 3 minutes. That means your message is getting to the intended audience very quickly and is absolutely read very quickly. Within 24 hours, 98% of all text messages are read within 24 hours. So it is a very effective tool. It's getting to the right people. 90% of adults in North America have their smartphone within arm's reach. So here I am, I have my smartphone, it's within my arm's reach. I have it at all times. I've been in webinars and been able to take text messages, but I've been in webinars that I could not take phone calls. It happens. Things like this happen. So you want to make sure that you're communicating with consumers and customers the way that they want to be communicated with. Okay, another beautiful thing about these messages is that it is very precise. A text message is not a novel. It's not long. It's very precise. It's to the point. So you don't want to text market you an oil special to your entire database, because you'll flood the system, you'll flood your shop, and all you'll be doing is oil changes instead of doing things that are preventive maintenance that are making you the money. An oil change is just to get them to come in. So if you're going to start that method, start very small, very slow, at the 100 text messages at a time, and track it. Track that message. Track what you're sending. So there's different ways of using text as the communication tool. We're going to talk about each one of these. There's text marketing, text messaging, for reviews, text for retention. And another one I'm going to add onto this, and this is very recent, is live web chats. Now, live web chat is where the client has come onto your website and they're wanting to talk to somebody. Why? Because they have a problem and they think you are the solution. Very quickly, you can capture that customer and become that solution for them, so they're coming into you. So we're going to talk about text marketing, text messaging, text for reviews, text for retention, which is one of my most favorite ones that's come out here recently. And then as well, we'll add on there the web chat, live web chat. So let's go into first, what is text marketing? Text marketing is when you're sending a message out to your customer base that says, buy 3 shocks and get 1 free, $50 off your battery, or 50% off your oil change. This is where you are soliciting people to come in to your shop. And it is a non-solicited. So if you want customers come into you, this is a very effective way of doing it. However, you do need to protect yourself. Customers that are coming in via this method, they need to make sure that they opt in for this type of marketing, which is, the 3 buy 3 and get 1 free, or a discount off of a battery, or a discount off of an oil change. This is different because you're blasting your entire database, or you're blasting a group of your database. You're blasting a group of people. So you want to make sure that you are having your customers and your clients opt in so that they want this valuable information. If they haven't opted in, then you're really running the risk of a Jiffy Lube that was sued for multi-millions of dollars because they were absolutely spamming their clients and their customers. And it's not a good lawsuit you want to be in on. There are specific rules that go around this. So if you are communicating with your customers about services that they need, services that they've declined, services that are due based on time or mileage, that is different than a unsolicited marketing message that says, here's a discount on a battery. Well, if the client just replaced their battery, you see how that's now spamming them or marketing to them. So you want to be very precise and funnel down to the clients and the customers that you're sending specific messages to. Those that you're sending marketing messages to, these are the ones that have opted in. And there's a lot of different methods of gathering that marketing method as getting them to opt in. So talking about text marketing methods, this is using a desktop to text with your clients. You don't want to do not allow your service advisor to text message your customer base from their own cell phone. Why? Because what if the service advisor now walks out the front door and takes a job down the street? Your entire customer base has now just walked out the front door with your service advisor and down the street to your competition. So don't allow a service advisor to text from their own phone. And there are 2 other options. As a shop owner, I could text from my phone. You could, but I'm going to advise you not to. Okay, well then I'll buy a cell phone for the shop, and we'll have a shop cell phone that will text from just for the shop. And I'm going to tell you not to do that either. And here's the reason why. When the carrier sees that you're sending out the same message over and over and over again, they're going to flag it. And they're going to flag it to say, hey, I'm shutting you down for a day. You're sending the exact same message to multiple different people. This is spamming them. you can't do this. So they'll shut you down for a day. And then they'll shut you down for a week if they catch you doing it again. And then they'll shut it down for a couple of weeks. And at which point now it's red flagged and you can't use that smartphone at all. You can't use that phone number at all for anything. So don't do that. With these desktop platforms, these phone numbers are specific to text marketing or text messaging. So the carrier knows that this is what you're using it for. In addition, when you're using a desktop platform, you can personalize it to the customer receiving it. You can include their first name. This changes up the entire message so that they're not all exactly the same. You can include their year, make, and model of their vehicle. You can include the time since their last visit or the date of their last visit. This really changes up the message so you're no longer going to be red flagged on your text marketing method in reaching out and communicating with those customers. So definitely you want to use a desktop platform. Okay, now it goes into, let's talk about crafting your message. You want to always provide value to your customer. Be clever, be personalized. Make sure that these are also messages that you are tracking. Which messages get the most people to opt out? Which message gets the most response? Which message gets the most revenue? If you've got a lot of people that opt out of a certain message, then you need to tweak it. Maybe your call to action isn't as good. Maybe your value isn't as good. So you might need to change that message a little bit. Always track your messages so that you know which ones are working and which ones need to be tweaked just a little bit. Because you can't manage what you don't measure. So you want to measure everything. And with this tool, you can set it up in an Excel spreadsheet and just track what message you're sending when, how many people opted out, how many responded and came in and actually bought. So, and then there's also some legal requirements that I want to talk about. This is important with not only texting, in fact, this is important with any of your text marketing that you're doing, text messaging, text for reviews. Always meet the legal requirements. So number one is only do your texting during business hours when you are in the shop. If you're texting after hours or on weekends, people are going to expect that you're actually at the shop and working. So don't have it set up to go automatically at midnight. That's not a good idea. Always do it during your business hours. If you're marketing, make sure that you have opt-ins. And marketing is that buy 3, get 1 free or a specific dollar discount. Make sure you have the opt-ins. And then always, and this is a Canadian law, but we also have it available on the United States side, that you present disclaimers, but you also have their give them the option to opt out of your text marketing. They may not want to receive any more text marketing, and that's fine if they don't want to. Give them the option. Give them the option. It's always a good idea. It always comes as a second text message every time you text them. So that's an option. With your message, make sure it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based. Make sure that your clients, your customers, that you're tracking these messages because you want to be reaching out with the right message at the right time to the right customers. And make sure that you're not texting them too much during a given month. Probably 1 a week is the top of what you want to do. So that's to say 4 a month. You may even want to whittle that down to be 2 to 3 a month that you're texting them. But be specific. If you're providing value, clients won't opt out. They'll stay with you because you're providing value. So here's a couple of ideas in crafting your message. If you've got ideas that you want to throw them past, I would love to look at your messages. I'd give you some advice as well. I love these messages, but at the same time, I also don't like them because I think their call to action is not specific enough. Specifically, let's look at this middle one. Goodbye winter sale, get $5 off your next visit. Come to Jimmy's Super Shop, hurry in. Okay, the hurry in is what gets me. There's no call to action. There's no this is available for the next 2 weeks, or sale ends by next Friday, and you give a date. I like to be as specific as possible. Otherwise, you're also opening it up that clients, customers, they could use this coupon at any time. They could come back at any time and use this coupon. So we need to make sure that you've got a specific time period on these. And I would suggest a 1 week time period is a really good idea. These are for the clients that really need that service, that need to come in. And that's your reminders that you're sending out as a reminder. So if someone had declined brakes previously and you want to give them a special deal on some brake pads, or maybe your part supplier has come across with a great deal on brake pads. Now you've looked up all your clients that have declined brake service jobs in the past 3 months. You could send them a link or a discount because the manufacturer, and because they have declined it previously. It could be that they took it to another shop and got it taken care of. Their Uncle Joe did it. Regardless of the situation, you could still provide value in checking to make sure it was done properly. So that's something also that we can check on and make sure that it's done. So crafting your message, be specific, make sure that it has a good call to action, that they're coming in the next week or 2 weeks. I would put 2 weeks on the outside. Some people put 3 weeks and 4 weeks. I think that's a little bit too long. People sleep and they forget, and they just really don't remember that. So focus on also your recipient pool and keep it at that 1 to 2 week time period. So on a specific pool, you can pull this information out of your point of sale system. You can choose all of the invoices that were over a certain dollar amount in the last 30 days or 60 days or 90 days and text to them. Or you could also focus in on everybody that drives a Ford or a Honda or a Toyota, and you can focus your message to them. Or it could be that you got a new rep, a new technician from the Ford dealership or the Chevy dealership, and that's what his main focus or her main focus is, all about Ford vehicles or Chevy vehicles. You could focus that message to all of those clients that own Chevys to say, hey, look, we've got Billy Joe or Bobby Joe, and he or she is focused specifically on Chevy trucks. So if you've got a Chevy vehicle, we are your answer. We're your solution. We've got the best of the best. Bring your car on down anytime in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But also I don't blast all your clients that drive a Chevy. Take it 100 per week or 200 per week. This has a very high effective reach rate, has a high conversion rate. So your text marketing, your text messaging, be very careful that you don't sink the ship, because that's easy to do. Focus your message in on a specific recipient pool, track who you send it to, track what converts, and who doesn't. This is important. You definitely want to measure this. And here's a couple of examples of Excel spreadsheets of tracking that information for those clients. The way to make sure that you are not spamming your customers is always to provide value. Always provide value. Always provide that ability to the client that they feel that you are providing value, and not always asking for the sale. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? We're going over this fairly quickly. This is a review of what we've talked about before. If you've got some questions, go ahead and chat them in, and we'll ask those questions here if you have questions about texting. Okay, now we talked about desktop texting. This is important. Don't use your cell phone because it can get flagged. Don't let your service advisor use your cell phone, because now you don't know if they're texting your clients or if they're texting their boyfriend or their girlfriend, because they're on their cell phone all the time. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm texting clients. Yeah, sure you are. You're on Facebook or TikTok, or on all these. Don't do it. Just use the desktop platform. It's the best way of reaching those clients. You've also got their entire history, their database right there in front of you. You can have both screens open at the same time to look at the messages you're sending and the history of that client and that customer. So let's talk about some different options of gathering opt-ins so that you can send that text marketing message. One here, this is a pop-up on your website. Your website provider should be able to create a pop-up that pops up and it asks the client, hey, you can get 10% discount by subscribing to our text messages, name, phone number, blah, blah, blah. They have to click the box. So you see the box down here. Let's see if I can highlight it. Oh yeah, baby, right there. My vehicle, and I would like to be the first to receive specials. They have to check mark it. No, you cannot have it defaulted as the check mark's already there. They have to click to check mark it. That's according to the TCPA Act. that they have to be the one to check mark it. Same thing here in the bottom right. This is a pop-up message. Oh, no, sorry. This is the scheduling an appointment. When you have that schedule an appointment button on your website, they click the button, they're requesting a time period, and they got two different options here. You also have this box that allows them to opt in for your text marketing or text messaging. Opt in for those messages. It's important. Here's a couple more options. Is a specific landing page on your website here on the top left. This top left, it's very similar to that schedule an appointment button, but you'll notice that they have to fill out the information. They also have to check mark the box to subscribe to that. There's also a keyword opt-in, and with a keyword opt-in, it could be a specific special that you're running, like brakes or battery or spring or winter. They text that number, that word, to a specific number, and now that is an opt-in. They have opted in from their smartphone. There's one more method. What's the other one method? Oh, a signature, a wet signature on a piece of paper. That is also an opt-in. They need to wet check mark the box that says, yes, I want to receive text marketing from Jimmy's Super Shop. Okay, let's talk about the second method of using text. And this is for building your reviews. I have seen shops go from 8 Google reviews to 185 within 6 months. Okay, so now there's some of you are thinking, well, geez, man, that's not that many. Actually, that's a lot. And in the gold is in the Google reviews. So the more you focus on building your Google reviews, the better it's going to be. So why do I focus on Google reviews? Because Google is the godfather of the internet. If you're going to play the game, you have to kiss the ring. The godfather of the internet has a review tool called Google Reviews. They use this in their Google algorithms and their Google rating for your shop and your website. So the better your Google reviews, the better your Google rating, the better your website's going to show up, because now Google has trust in your website as being the answer to any automotive questions. So number one, build your Google reviews. There's 3 things you want to focus on in building reviews. Number one is you want the quantity coming in, you want velocity, and you want diversity. So each one of these, quantity, you want them coming in all the time, which also goes to the velocity of it. You can't build everything on 1 week and then have 3 weeks of crickets. Google will see this and they'll see that you're stacking it. So by having it always open and always running, always building those Google reviews, you're going to fulfill all 3 of these. And also into diversity, you need 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-stars. Yes, you need this gamut of reviews in your Google settings, because yes, you need the 5 stars that tells everybody what a great experience they had, but you also need the 1 stars. Why? Because we're human. We're going to make mistakes. This also goes further to show and develop a relationship with your online audience. This is a review. This is an employee that will work for you 24/7. They'll always be out there. They're always available, and they're always telling your story. So if you messed up, own it and come online as an owner to say, hey, Mrs. Jones, you're right. We absolutely messed up. I want to make this right. Here's the phone number. Give me a call. Let's see what we can do to make this right. Or the other one is the mayor of Crazy Town, which does happen. If you get the mayor of Crazy Town leaving you a 1-star review, it's still almost the same response. Hey, mayor, here's my phone number. We want to make this right. Give me a call. Let's see what we can do to work this out. Even though I've never seen your car and you've never been in my shop, perhaps you have me confused with somebody else. So always in your reviews, build your reviews, build your Google reviews. You can also build your Facebook reviews, your website reviews, your CSI reviews, your customer satisfaction index. You can build all these reviews to build your value and worth, because reviews have become that word of mouth marketing. So always make sure that you are asking the clients for this, and texting, having it set up so automatically when you close the invoice, the next day you send out the request for the review. That's the best practice to use for your building reviews. So you want your service advisor to do it every day after. Make sure they text message or text mark it to everybody from the day before. Or if your software can handle it, it sends it out that automatically and asks for that review. Always set it up in the exit review as well to make sure that you are setting it up so they know it's coming. They know that you're expecting a response, and that they'll take the time to really tell the story of their experience in your shop. The more that they can tell, the more that they can say about their experience, the better it's going to be for your reviews and for your Google search engine optimization. That's your Google SEO. So take control of your online reputation, because if you're not, chances are your competition is, and they're the ones that are building their Google ratings where yours is staying stagnant or declining. Make sure you take charge of that. Okay, so ongoing campaigns. Now, this is awesome. This is text for retention. This is getting those customers to continue to come back to you. Set it up in your point of sale system that 30 days after declined services, you're going to send a text message. So you run a report, you pull out the information, or you have a software that does the texting for you automatically, and you send these messages to your customers. So it could be 30 days after a declined service, or you could set it up to be 3 months after an oil change, so it becomes the virtual oil sticker, or it could be 6 months or 12 months after a client hasn't come back in. You could set it up as a lost customer campaign where it's texting those customers to get them to come back into you. Track those messages, track what's working, track what doesn't work. 3 that are set up in most systems automatically that are text marketing systems. So if you don't have the software, you could also do this manually in your own, from your own shop. Number 1 is your lost customers. Number 2 is new customers. Thank you for coming in. That's your thank you message. And then the third one is a follow-up. So after the invoice is closed, you're thanking them for the trust they have in your shop, as well asking for that review, whether it's on Facebook or Google or Yelp, even Yelp. You want to play that game. You have to. Marketing is a game. It's a game. It's a great game of fishing to see what works and what doesn't. So see, these are some of the defaults that you would want to use in that customer retention campaigns. That's keeping that customer coming back to you over and over and over again. Some of the triggers that you might consider is time since the last service. Now that becomes very important here, this top left one, because people just aren't driving anymore. I was just on the phone with one of our salespeople in California, and she says, Jimmy, I'm driving 20 miles a week. That's it. We never leave the house. We're not going out. We just don't. 20 miles a week. That's it. So for those customers, it's going to be time-based that you want to set up these custom triggers. Maybe it's an appointment reminder. Sends it the message, a text message 2 days and 2 hours in advance, or 1 day and 1 hour in advance, or 1 hour in advance. You can set up these triggers to happen automatically to remind the customer that they have an appointment. That way they're not missing it or not declining it. Or if they do have a conflict, you can handle it days in advance instead of no shows. That becomes very important. Appointment scheduled online, you always want to confirm it via a text is a great way of confirming it. These are your customers that are digital, so it's a great way of responding also digitally. You can trigger down to repair order values. Everybody that spent over a certain dollar amount gets a text message from you saying thank you, or offering an additional service or a follow-up, whatever that may be. As well, service intervals, estimated mileage. Now this was what we were using every 3,000 or 5,000 miles because people used to drive a lot. Now it's more of the time-based, but it's still there. Happy birthday. If your point of sale system has a birthday field, then your texting platform should be able to capture that information and be able to send something of value to that customer on their birthday, even if it's just as simple as saying, happy birthday, Jimmy Lee. So glad you're here. We really appreciate you. Which, by the way, maybe that message goes out to Joy, and it says to Joy, it's my mother. My mother's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Joy. We hope you have a great day. Can't wait to see you again in the shop again soon. Here's a discount for your birthday. Something like that. So if mom was here, we could all sing her happy birthday, but we carry on from there. So coming soon, this is also something that a lot of texting platforms are able to do, is sending text messages after you have recommended a service or after services have been declined, because those brake pads don't regenerate themselves. My service advisor last time I was in for my oil change said, "Hey, Jimmy, by the way, your back brakes are down to about a 40%. So somewhere here in the next 6 months or 12 months, we're going to need to replace those back brake pads." Great. This is a great way of following up and communicating with those clients like myself to remind me, because I'll remember, oh yeah, we talked about that some time ago. So that is the short play. The other thing I want to add into this, and we'll come back one, is the live web chat. There's now software that allows you to put a little chat icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your website, or the bottom left-hand corner, wherever you want to place it. And that allows a client to text directly to your shop. And you should be able to set it up so the entire shop is able to see the message, so that the message is seen and is able to be responded to. So as a team, you always have a team lead, somebody who's designated to respond. Maybe they're the ones on call, and you can have that live chat set up to go and run during business hours. Or if you've got an after hours scenario, after hours, it could respond with a message automatically that says, "Hey, we're not in the shop right now, but somebody will get with you soon." You could have an automatic message. What's interesting is, by leaving that open, it's interesting, there's a lot of shop owners that are getting a lot of after hours chatter, text messaging from the website, and they're setting up appointments to the tune of about 2 to 3 during the week. And on a weekend, they're setting up anywhere from 5 to 15 appointments for the shop. And this is all being taken care of after hours. So a lot of people want to know that they're coming to the right place, that they're talking to the right people, that you are the solution for their problem. Having a live web chat on your website allows you as the shop to communicate with that new prospect or that current customer to make sure that they stay at your shop, to make sure that they're not going somewhere else. And here's what happens before is shop owners would turn it off. Here they are on Monday calling back everybody that sent a message through the weekend. The constant reply that they were getting from customers was, "Oh, well, you didn't reply over the weekend, so I went ahead and booked with somebody else." Having that live web chat come to your service advisor or whoever's on call allows you to be the shop that books that appointment with that customer. Always be that solution. Be the one that is there for the customer. Super important. So that's our short play. Let's get into our long play. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, do we have any questions, Maddie, or are we carrying on? Are we good?
I don't see anything in the chat, so let's carry on.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So let's go into our long play. And the reason I call this a long play is because it is building that long-term relationship with the customer. This is providing long-term value with the customer via social media and via your website. And specifically, these are professional videos that you want to have on your website. There's 3 specific ones. And so the first question you want to ask is, well, why? Why do I want to have video on my website? Why do I want to have video in my social media? And there's really specific reasons. Number one is it builds the internet. On the internet, we have short attention spans. We don't want to read the information. We want to see a video about it. Number 2 is that website experience. It's no longer a static brochure. It is live. It is good information. It's constantly being revitalized. And number 3, by having that customer on your website longer, it builds your Google rating. It builds your Google algorithm. It builds your search engine optimization, because Google sees clients are staying on your website 3.5 minutes, where on websites without video, they only stay for 2 minutes. So obviously clients are getting much more value from your website, much more value from what you're saying, what you're doing, and they're staying longer. Google sees that. They see that they're staying longer. Gives you a lot of value, a lot of credibility with the godfather of the internet, Mr. Google. Okay, so let's talk about specific things that are going to help you. And what we have experienced from shops that have put videos is that they're seeing a 66% increase in qualified leads, qualified appointments per year. They're getting more appointments. They're more qualified. They're better educated. And a better educated customer is better educated. They make better decisions. So they're making smarter decisions for sure. And video is the method that they want to consume this information. They don't want to read about it. They don't want you telling them over the phone, but they do want to see a video about it. And they really build that relationship with you via video so that when they come to your shop, they feel like they've already been there. They're seeing your technicians and that technicians are happy and they're seeing a clean shop and they're seeing, they really feel like they are part of the family. And videos can really do that. Some of these videos that you want to do, even videos would be your technician testimonial, a customer testimonial, which is what I call a raving fan video. And then the third video that you want to have done professionally is what makes your shop awesome and amazing. What differentiates you from the competition? So having these professionally done videos on your website really increases the attractiveness of your shop to customers that are on your website. There's a couple of shop owners that have done a tremendous job in creating the video. They are now a decade into building their marketing mogul. On the left is Greg Buckley. And I love this video because Greg had threatened for years, at least a year, to start doing videos. And he just kept putting it off and kept putting it off, kept putting it off. So he finally says, okay, that's it. We're in. I'm going to do it. This video is on YouTube. You want to go watch it. It's had a few thousand views. Greg is talking about maintaining your windshield wipers. When you watch this video, you're going to see that it is the first video he is doing. It is raw. It is not edited. It could have been done better. He could have had a better sound system. The wind was blowing. You can barely hear Greg as he's doing this video, but he started doing it. And since then, his videos have become much better with the sound system and consuming the audio. On the right, this is David Toole. And David Toole, likewise, had threatened to do videos 10 years ago, threatened to do it, never did it. Finally says, okay, that's it. We're going to do this. They were building a shop truck to run for parts, to run shuttle for customers. They were building a shop truck. And this video is awesome because it's the first time that he's going out and he's going to start the motor. He's going to start the engine. The batteries are hooked up with jumper cables. It's not ideal. It's not the perfect scenario. The truck's not all put together, and you can hear in his voice that this is the first time that they're going to start it. And you can hear in his voice the anticipation of, oh my gosh, I really hope this starts. If it doesn't start, this is going to be terrible. And when it starts, the elation from everybody, they are just so happy and so excited. Great video, great things to put out there. The point of video is to start somewhere. Start talking about something about your shop. And these are very well done for social media. This is what you want to do for social media. Having a smartphone in your hand, because you have everything you need to start. Whether it's a smartphone or an Android phone, you've got the information in your pocket that you can start doing videos. Social media is a great place of posting this information and posting this for your clients and for your customers. This is where they're going to consume the information. So your question for me is, well, where do I go to get content? Go to your inspection sheet. Is it a 26-point inspection sheet? Well, then you've got 26 different videos that you could put out there. Is it a 99-point inspection sheet? Well, then that's 99 videos. Is it a 127-point inspection sheet? Okay, well, you get the idea. Each one of these are items that you can talk about specifically in your social media. And this is a great place to have this information for your social media, because this is where your customers are spending their time. This is where they're sitting on the couch and viewing information on social media. So you can build that relationship with the client, with the customer. A great shop to look at in Pensacola, Florida, Gary Sapp. He came to me last March and says, Jimmy, oh my gosh, business is way down. I said, well, Gary, I haven't seen you do any Facebook Lives recently. Where's your Facebook? Where are you engaging clients and customers? We hung up. He immediately went on to Facebook Live and got on there and started talking to his clients. He did this every morning for the next 3 or 4 months, and he got super busy. What happens when we get busy? We forget. We forget what it is that brought in a lot of this business. We get busy, and so we stop doing it. So he stopped doing it. Fast forward 3 or 4 months, I get another phone call. Jimmy, oh man, we're down. We're not busy any again. I said, well, Gary, I haven't seen you post for like 3 or 4 months. What's going on? Oh, that's right. That's right. He hung up. He started doing Facebook posts again, Facebook Lives. He's talking about the cars that are in the truck. Hey, today's Ford day down here at the shop. Today's Chevy day at the shop. Today's your pickup truck at the shop. Today's Sprinter van. He works on just about anything. And as you put this out there to the universe to see, people are going to see it and they'll say, oh, I've got a Ford truck. I need to get my truck down to Gary. Oh, I've got a Honda. I need to get my 4-door Honda down. Whatever the scenario is, maybe it's Mustang day. You've got all Ford Mustangs lined up. Whatever it is that becomes unique for that day and you've got them lined up, take a picture, do a Facebook Live, put this information out there, because people are going to see it. They're going to view it. They get to view it. It stays up as a marketing tool for you for a very long time. You've got the information out there, and clients are going to come in and consume from you. Make it easy for them to consume. Tell them that they can set up appointments via Facebook. If you've got that set up, they can make appointments from your website. Make it easy for them to click and request an appointment at your shop. One last final thing for you to do to make sure that you have is good audio. The better your audio, the easier it is to consume your information, to consume your data. Get a lanyard, get a small microphone. This helps cut out the wind. It helps focusing on your voice. So as you're in the shop, it cuts out a lot of that background noise so that your voice is the one that is front and center as you're talking to your customers. So if you've got an Android phone, all you need is the lanyard there on the left. These are less than $20. They're on Amazon. You can get just about any of them that you want to get. Mine that I have personally is less than $20. It looks well, that's the one I have right there. Very, very plain, very simple. If you have a smartphone, you're going to need the lightning connector for your Apple phone. That is on the right. It's $9.99. It's like $10. Get that. It'll convert the 3.5 jack into the lightning lanyard. So you'll be able to have good quality sound as well as you're doing your recordings. This is really important. The easier it is for people to consume your information, the better their response. The harder it is for them to consume it, they have to listen real hard. It's not a good experience, so they don't do it as well. So my name is Jimmy Lee. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your ability to watch this information. We are Kukui. We are from Hawaii. We are family. We lock arms with you. The word Kukui means enlightenment. I hope I have brought some enlightenment to your life, to your shop today, because everything we've talked about, this is stuff that Kukui can do for you. This is also stuff you could do for yourself if you wanted to. Kukui will make it a lot easier. I look forward to locking arms with you so that we can, as a family, lock arms and survive this storm together. Everybody has a different ship in this storm. Not all ships are created equal. Let's make sure we survive this storm together. Maddie, with that, I thank you for your time. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, love to talk to you about it.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? I see Danny says, thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome, Danny. Thank you for tuning in, man. I always appreciate you being around here for us, brother.
All right. If no questions, then we will go ahead and stop the recording, and this will be posted on our Facebook page later today, and I will send you, Jimmy, a link, and Feel free to check out any of our other trainings we've done. I know Jimmy just did a training a couple weeks ago for us. That'll be on our YouTube page as well as our website. Check it out. And thank you again, Jimmy.
Thank you. And everybody that's on this live, if I can get your email address, I'm going to send you a cup of coffee. That's a cup of coffee so you can sit down with Kukui and we can talk about marketing. We can talk about your shop. We can talk about what it is you want to do, what your goals are, your aspirations. Well, how can we help support you as a shop owner? We want to sit down and have a conversation. So maybe we can do that over a cup of Joe. Here's my contact information. That's my cell phone. Send me a text message. Let's communicate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.